This is Growing Up Aspen Season 2, where we're actually going to deep dive with a bunch of folks that we actually grew up with. Usually it's Chris Pomeroy and myself, Andy Collin, but today it's just Mike Marolt and I. And what would you say is your biggest lesson you learned from your expeditions? I mean, it sounds like you were talking about evolution is a big one, being able to step back from your preconceived ideas and being able to grow with new things and adjust in a sense. But are there any specific takeaways that you have that, on this one we did, because it sounds like you did a lot of hikes. I mean,
well, we did. I mean, we over the years, I think the thing, and it dawned on me in 2017 when Steve and I were inducted into the USA Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame. And contrary to what you'd think, that was a really difficult process. The weekend of induction out at what was formerly Squaw Valley, at Palisades, Tahoe, that was a hard experience. And the reason it was a hard experience is because when you grow up in the shadow of all these Olympians, and we knew who made the Hall of Fame and who didn't. And if somebody was in a ski Hall of Fame, whether it's Colorado or the National, that was a big deal. And it was enhanced by the fact that Dad had died just before he got inducted into the Colorado Ski Hall of Fame. And I had the honor of, accepting his nomination into it.
Wow.
And so that was something that was reserved for professionals.
Right.
We never referred to ourselves as professionals. We knew that there was Major League Baseball. We knew that there was Olympics for ski racing and other sports and the NFL and all that stuff. We were just guys that went out and climbed and skied. It's not a sport. It's just high risk recreation in our view. We didn't do it to become famous, but we kept after it, and we just found this passion for it, and we just absolutely loved it. And we'd get done with one peak and we'd see something in the distance, and we'd start planning that before we even got off the peak we were on. And then as we started to travel to South America, Alaska and South America and Asia, before we'd be off of one peak, we'd already be planning the next one. And I think that the takeaway, the biggest takeaway that I got from that was the difference between obsession and passion, because we truly did develop passion for it. But what I tell people when I'm doing my public speaking on that subject is that it's a lot of people are going to tell you that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to.
Right.
And the mountains of all places teach you that that's pretty much bullshit. You
Right.
can't go and climb every single mountain and ski every single slopes. You're a man and they're the mountains. But what I've learned in the process is that if you try to accomplish all your dreams, you're not going to accomplish all your dreams, but you're going to accomplish a hell of a lot more than you ever thought
Right.
you could.
Right.
And it dawned on me at that induction ceremony. I mean, it was so uncomfortable, and it was so uncomfortable being in that atmosphere with all those ski racers and all the really competitive skiers, and to, accept that award. And it dawned on me that, man, without even trying and without any goals other than the next peak, if you really find your passion in anything, you stay in the moment, and while you're doing it, that becomes the reward.
Right.
And if you stick with it and you truly find it, you can accomplish something. I mean, Andy, we didn't even keep track of all of our climbs.
Right.
I documented them, some with video and stuff like that. But I mean, it's like I was laughing with Lou. I mean, you contrast it with rock climbers.
Right.
Rock climbers go out and they keep journals of not only everything that they climbed, every single move that is on the route.
Right.
And when I wrote my first book, the editor said, well, you got to create a list of all the climbs that you've done. It took me a year to compile that list. And I use the analogy of a passionate fisherman or golfer. Tell them to go back to when they were, in their early 20s, they're now 50, and have them compile a list of all their golfing or fishing trips.
Yeah.
And it's like I'd get done with the list, and in the middle of the night, it'd be, oh shit, I completely forgot about that expedition to Peru.
Right.
So the motivating factor was not the body of work. And when I finally did compile the list, I mean, we were doing a trip or two every single year from the time we were, in our late 20s. And it's like, the body of work that was accomplished and the number of peaks. I mean, it's over 60 expeditions to over 60 of the highest peaks in the world. And it's like the combination of getting inducted into that Ski Hall of Fame, which I never considered that to be even desirable. It just happened. And then you look at the list and it's like, man, maybe it wasn't all a complete waste of time, just a fun pig for, whatever.